5 fragrances here that garner literally the most compliments ever. So I will be talking about those fragrances, and if you've had the opportunity to try them, comment down below if you agree with me. And if you haven't, I definitely encourage you to get some samples and try them out. So stay tuned and let's jump in. All right, so the very first fragrance on my list of most complimented fragrances of 2022 is none other than Greenwich Village by Bond number 9. This baby right here, when I tell you, I get compliments galore from this particular fragrance. It is a freshie for sure. It is fresh, it is fruity, it is floral, and it has a little bit of musk, but it is also very, very sweet. There's a little bit of vanilla in there as well. I will say that I really enjoy the components of this fragrance. And I believe this fragrance has lychee in it, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm obsessed with lychee. I think that's what like drew me to this fragrance. But I heard someone describe this fragrance as the scent that Barbie would wear. And when I tell you, like, it clicked. And I'm like, oh, this makes sense. This is exactly like the scent that Barbie would wear. Yeah, I think this is a great fragrance. I like it a lot because it's on the sweeter side, and I do appreciate a sweet fragrance, but it is really, really nice, and it dries down a little bit powdery as well. I will say that I've heard people compare this to Baccarat Rouge 540. It is not a dupe to Baccarat Rouge 540 by any means. There are some similarities, potentially be distant cousins, right? Like by far, they're definitely not dupes. This is definitely fresh. This is fruity. This is floral. Baccarat Rouge is on a different wavelength, but I get a ton of compliments, and I really, like, when I smell this fragrance, it makes me happy. And I love a scent that gives you like an emotional reaction, right? So I love this, and I think this is really great in the summertime. It projects, it lasts. Hold on now. Let me be honest. I have to think about whether or not it lasts a long time. I think that if it turns into a skin scent after a couple of hours, but I will say this gives me a good 6 to 8 hours, and then it becomes a skin scent. But God, I love it. This is a really, really nice fragrance. Like I said, this is my second bottle, so that means I really love it, and I get a ton of compliments. Next fragrance on my list of most complimented fragrances for 2022 is none other than Delina. This is Parfum's de Marly Delina, not Delina exclusive. This is the original. And when I tell you, Delina is the pretty girl fragrance personified, this is it. Pretty girl. When I smell Delina, I think of white. I think of like pink. I think of brunch with the girls. Like, that's what I think of when I smell Delina. It is a predominantly rose fragrance, right? So it's rose, it's a floral fragrance, it has some fruity components as well, and it's kind of fresh. It does have lychee and rhubarb in it. Rhubarb is a note that has turned some people off of this, and I actually like it a lot. It gives it a little bit of tartness, but it also gives this scent a little bit of uniqueness, because when you think about it, in the market there are so many rose dominant fragrances. I really think Delina stands out, and there's a reason why this fragrance is so popular for a niche fragrance. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, this is my pretty girl. Like, if I want to be cute, if I want to be pretty, if I want to wear pearls, like, I'm throwing on Delina. Up next is MFK's Gentle Fluidity Gold. Heavy sigh. When I tell you this fragrance is gorgeous, this fragrance screams elegance. That's it. If one word to describe this fragrance would be elegant. This is a vanilla heavy fragrance. It is a little bit powdery. There's some amber components to it as well, and it's a little bit spicy. Overall, this is just an elegant fragrance. It's just beautiful. It's light. It isn't in your face. It just provides this kind of scent bubble, and you are just floating in your scent bubble. And as people enter and leave your scent bubble, they are just super pleased by the scent. I do have a little bit of a dent in it. I originally purchased, this is a 2.4 fluid ounce, but I originally purchased the 1.7 fluid ounce and I was completely obsessed with it. So I went and I got the larger bottle. But yeah, I definitely encourage you, if you're looking for an elegant scent that is just, it's like understated sophistication. That is really like what I think of when I think of this kind of this fragrance. Elegant, understated sophistication. If that's the look that you're going for, or if that's something that is interesting to you, and you enjoy vanilla, you enjoy a powdery fragrance, you enjoy amber, I think you'll really like this as well. So up next is none other than Baccarat Rouge 540 MFK. I couldn't dare, talk about the most complimented fragrances of 2022 without mentioning Baccarat Rouge 540. Some of you may be so sick and tired of hearing about it. Girl, I don't care. This is really good. And, there are some people that don't like it. Some people are anosmic to it. I will say I am anosmic to the extract version of this fragrance. I have a sample of it and I cannot smell it to save my life. But on top of it, I know I'm going on a rant, but I'm getting to somewhere. But I will say though, when I do spray it, it gives me a headache. Not the extract version. So I get, some people's reaction to Baccarat Rouge, some like it, some don't. So I understand. I don't like the extract version, but I love this version here. This is gorgeous. It is a woody, amber, warm, spicy type of fragrance. It's sweet, and it has like this sponge sugar component to it that I think is so unique and so beautiful. And I mean, I can't even break down like components of this fragrance. Like when I take a look at the list of like ingredients in the fragrance, or the notes, in the fragrance, I don't smell each individual note. I don't. And I think this fragrance is blended perfectly. I think that MFK is a fantastic perfumer. He deserves all the praise that he gets. He absolutely does. And this is a masterpiece. And I will never not have this in my collection. This is my second bottle. I was gonna say third, but it's not. Let me tell you how I went about how I discovered Baccarat Rouge 540. Let me go on my little rant really quickly. So this had to be like during the pandemic or something like that. Or it had to be during the pandemic. I feel like that's when like fragrance community really blew up. People were really into fragrances and things like that. And, it spilled over to these next couple of years. But I wasn't interested in like shelling out the coin for something that I didn't have the opportunity to sample, right? So I'm like, okay, let me figure out, like, let me see how I can go about trying this fragrance. The very first thing that I purchased directly from the MFK website was their perfume oil. I tried the MFK perfume oil, and when I tell you, I was obsessed with the scent. And I'm like, okay, I need to have this. So I got the perfume oil, and then I decided to just go ahead and get the full bottle. I ran through my bottle, and I replaced it with another bottle. I'm not running through this again, okay? I am keeping this, and I'm going to keep it in my collection as long as I can. If you haven't tried Baccarat Rouge, if you've been sleeping under a rock, or you just haven't had the opportunity to try it, I definitely encourage you to try it. I mean, it's a masterpiece, and there's a reason why people are obsessed with it. People are comparing this to other fragrances. There's a reason behind that, because this is a masterpiece. And no shade to those people that get the dupes or whatever, or and I'm not talking about like, I'm talking about those companies that specifically make dupes of fragrances. I don't support those companies, because I think that it's important to support the perfumer behind the product, right? So it's kind of like, a painter. The perfumer is a painter, they're an artist, and this is like their life's work. So no shade if that's what you do, but if you want to go and try a dupe before you purchase this, just to see if you actually like it, more power to you, go ahead and do that. But I will say that this is a masterpiece and I will forever have it in my collection. And I have garnered countless compliments when I wear this fragrance. The last time I put this fragrance on, I was at Target minding my business, you know, doing my little shopping at Target because that's where I love to go. And this lady followed me probably like 7 different aisles. Like, she was like following me and like following my scent trail. And like, I saw her look at me and leave and look at me and leave. And I thought like, okay, maybe she's like, she wants something. She clearly wants something. She's following me, right? And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. If she wants to talk to me, she'll talk to me. Like, I'm busy, I'm shopping, like I'm minding my business. But I can definitely see that you know, when you notice that someone, and it's not in a creepy way, it's not in a way where I felt like scared for my life because I know somebody might comment like, girl, somebody's following you, like, why didn't you? No, it wasn't like that. You can tell it was just like, oh, like curiosity, like friendly type of thing. So finally she comes up to me and she was just like, she's like, I don't mean to be weird, but you smell amazing. What are you wearing? And I'm not a gatekeeper. Like, girl, give me a compliment. You ask me where, you tell me this looks good and like a headband. Oh my gosh, I love your headband. Girl, I got this from wherever I got it from. Like, I'm not a gatekeeper. I don't do that. So I tell her, I was just like, oh, say less. Screenshot. Sent her an airdrop of where she could find it, the components of it. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a gatekeeper. Like, if you like something, just let me know. Like, hey, yo, I like this. Like, where'd you get this from? I got you. I will tell you. So after we talked for a little bit, and then once I just got back to my shopping, but I was thinking in my head, like the whole time, oh, she was just like gathering like the confidence to come and talk to me, you know, because it's an awkward thing to ask someone like you, or to compliment someone and say you smell good. But as someone who is obsessed with fragrances, that's literally the best compliment that you can give me, is that I smell good. Because although I don't purchase fragrances to garner compliments, I purchase fragrances because I like them and I want to smell good and I want to smell like things that I enjoy. But a compliment is like icing on the cake. It's just like a solidification of the fact that like I made a good choice, right? So that's my story about Baccarat Rouge 540. Great fragrance. Won't go without it. I love it. The very last fragrance on my list of most complimented fragrances of 2023 is none other than Le Labo Another 13. This is my second fragrance as well of Le Labo Another 13. When I purchased this, I was kind of teetering between getting Santal 33 or Another 13, and based on the notes, I decided to try Another 13. So this is a musk, heavy musk fragrance. But when I tell you, oh my gosh, it gives me chills when I'm being a little extra, but it's good. Like, it is good. It's musky. It's ambery. It has woody components in it as well. It dries down to like this beautiful powdery skin scent. And you may notice like there's like some correlation between the things that I love, amber, powder, woody components, and other fragrances. But oh my goodness, this one here, Another 13, is bae. Another 13 is literally bae. This has almost become like my signature scent to some people. Although I do not have a signature scent, without even trying, Another 13 has become like a signature scent for me. And I will say it's musk heavy, so it's almost like your skin but better, right? It's a gorgeous scent, and I really encourage you to try it if you haven't had the opportunity. Get a sample. You know, obviously don't buy it full price. Don't buy it, you know, outright. I don't condone blind buys, but you are a grown woman, you're a grown man, you do what you do, you live your best life. But Another 13 is absolutely gorgeous, and it's probably the most complimented fragrance that I have in my collection. I wore this just about every single time that I wear this fragrance, I get a compliment. So if I'm at the store, I've had cashiers stop checking me out to say like, you smell amazing. I've had people ask me at the store what I'm wearing, you smell amazing. I've had people at church ask me, like, I wear this all over the place, hence why it's my second bottle. But this is absolutely my most complimented fragrance. And I will say that it lasts on me. It lasts a long time. I smell it on my clothes. I smell it like if you have on a jacket and you spray Another 13 and you have the audacity to throw that jacket back in your closet, honey, your whole closet is going to be smelling like Another 13. And that same thing goes for Baccarat Rouge 540. Like, they last. Another thing though, I will say is I've heard people comparing Another 13 to Baccarat Rouge 540 to say that they smell similar. They do not. I don't know why people are doing these comparisons. No, they do not. And I'm trying to like be receptive to that feedback, right? To say, okay, well, let me put myself in their shoes to see what it is that they're thinking or why they think what they're thinking, right? So I will say this. Now I'm in the other person's shoes, right? With Another 13 has like this light, airy quality. And go with me. I'm hoping this makes sense. It's a light, airy musk. It's almost like it's floating. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's airy. It's like, like, you know, that's Another 13, right? And Baccarat has that same vibe to it where it's like, it's light, it's airy. You would think like based off of the ingredients, the components of the fragrance that like it would be heavy and deep and strong, and it's not. It's light, it's airy, and I get that. So I can see why people can say, you know, make that comparison, like Another 13 reminds you of Baccarat, maybe, but as a dupe, if anything, it'll be like a fourth cousin, right? If we really want to play into that, it'll be a fourth cousin or whatever. But I don't see the similarity. But I will say Another 13 is beautiful, and it's sweet. I don't know if I mentioned that before. It is sweet, and it's unisex. So I think that's the reason why I lean toward Another 13 rather than Santal 33, is because when I was looking at the reviews of Santal 33, another tangent, hopefully this doesn't bore you, but when I was looking at the reviews and like different, you know, people's perception of Santal 33, one thing that the vibe that I got is like, okay, they said it was woody, whatever other components, but also it leaned a little bit masculine. It was very dry. I don't know if that's the case. I haven't had the opportunity to sample it myself, so I can't speak to it. But that's the only reason why I lean toward Another 13, because I like the musk component of it. I like the fact that it was on the sweeter side. I love the woody aspect of it. And it's gorgeous. It really is a nice fragrance. And I can see this being someone's signature scent because some people in my life have like associated this with me as my signature scent. So those are my thoughts. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed talking about my 5 most complimented fragrances. If you have fragrances that garner compliments out the wazoo, do people still say that? I feel like that's an old saying. Like, that gets you compliments left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. Comment down below. I'd love to see it, and I'd love to try some new fragrances this year. So let me know what you got cooking up in your fragrance stash. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for spending a couple minutes with me. I really appreciate it. If you haven't had the opportunity, I definitely encourage you, please subscribe. This channel is small, so small but mighty, and we are slowly growing. I really want to build an inclusive community where we are just, you know, uplifting one another. We're inspiring each other to be our best selves, and I want you to join the community. So I appreciate you. Take good care, and I will see you soon.